looking at multi-order picking the WMS mobile device. The first thing that we're going to do is create a wave, and we do have a video that talks in a little bit more detail about what a wave is. That's NetSuite's way of releasing sales orders and transfer orders to the mobile device so that someone can start picking them. So what we're going to do is click create a wave. Depending on the roles and permissions you have, it might be easier to find out in the navigation pane, but personally I find the easiest way is just to type in create a wave. So on our wave criteria, this top information is the most important, right? We're going to select our location where we're going to wave these orders to, and also our transaction type. I'll keep that as sales order. All of this information down here is just filtering those orders out. So for instance, if we wanted to see particular sales orders to be fulfilled in the Chicago warehouse for Mauser or another customer or with a particular ship method, we could do that. I'm going to click search. When I do that, it's going to bring up a list of sales orders that are pending fulfillment in the Chicago warehouse. And I'll also see a couple different types of picking preferences I can select. So we saw single order picking in a different video. Today we're going to select multiple order picking. And we'll also have another video that talks about bulk order picking. The difference between these is it's very similar. One of these shows you which sales orders you're picking for when you're doing bulk picking the mobile device, the other does not. So we're going to click multiple order picking. And we have our two sales orders here. We can click into the line items to see those if we like, or we can just go ahead and select and click save. So what that does is it creates a wave and says, okay, these orders are ready to pick in the mobile device. Because we have multiple orders, we're going to go to a little different screen this time. We're going to go to setup custom mobile app, right? Keep in mind, this may look different depending on your roles and permissions. But when I open this, it's going to open it in a widescreen. But again, right, keep in mind, this will be on a screen about the size of your phone. So when I open this is the SCM Mobile, or the Supply Chain Management Mobile App, NetSuite's way of consolidating all supply chain related apps in one place. I'm going to click WMS. I'm going to click from my location and warehouses, but again, remember, if my employee is assigned to one particular warehouse, they won't have this option. They'll just be brought to the warehouse that they're assigned to. I'm going to click Chicago, and then I'm going to see all the activities I can perform in a warehouse. So I can do receiving, picking, miscellaneous movements. Those are inventory status changes in our bin transfers. And today we're going to click picking. Now, when I do that, I have options to do single order picking or multi-order picking. Go ahead and watch our single order picking video to review that process. And today we're going to select multi-order picking. So when I do that, I'm going to see my list of released waves I can start to pick. I can see I have 2 orders in there and 1 pick task. I'm going to click my wave number, and it's going to say, okay, these are all the pick tasks that you have to pick for this wave. So keep in mind, right, single order picking would require you to pick for each sales order all the items one at a time. Multi-order picking is going to consolidate across the sales orders the items that we need to pick, right? So if you remember, this is on 2 different orders, this item, but because it's the same item, we can go pick that total quantity all at once and then disperse it out later. I'm going to click my pick task, and then we're going to begin the picking process. So NetSuite's going to ask me to go walk up and validate the bin. It's going to recommend the bin for using expiration numbers. It does recommend this based on a first expiry, first out basis. I can click show all bins to see where that inventory is. Otherwise, maybe I, instead want to go to 1A, 1B. And I'm going to select my item to pick, right? If I have sufficient bin barcoding or labeling, I can go ahead and scan that item barcode. I can type it in, or I can just select it here. If I go up to that bin and I decide, well, I see that there's no inventory even there, and NetSuite's saying there is, I can click this bin empty button, and it's going to report it to the warehouse manager to say, hey, NetSuite thinks that there's inventory here. There isn't. You need to figure out, maybe cycle count it or see what went wrong there. So I'm going to click my item to pick, and then I'm going to validate the quantity that I'm picking. So it's, as you can see, this multiple order selection that we picked shows us for each order the quantity that we're picking. So I'm picking 15 for this sales order. I can scan the lot number if I have a barcode. Otherwise, I can select it from this list. Let's say we want to take this lot number, and I can scan a picking carton that I'm using if I am using one. If I'm not using this, I can turn this feature off as well. And let's say, okay, first, the second sales order, here's the quantity that I have remaining to pick. I'll pick 35. Again, I'll scan that lot number. I can type it in, or I can just select it from the list. And it's going to ask me, again, which carton you're going to use. If you're not using this for picking, we can just remove the cartons from the screen altogether. And then because I'm using the staging process, it's going to ask me where I'm staging this to. If I have an outbound staging bin, I can type that in here. It will show up here with the proper settings that we have for picking and put away strategies. Otherwise, you can walk up to any outbound staging bin. If you have a barcode, or if it's just an area, you can type that in or scan it. And then when I hit enter staging, it's going to let me know, okay, you've staged everything. We can move on to the packing and shipping process.